What's going on, Legends? Today I have an Infini-Crit Rafa build for you using Peacebreaker Cannon's action skill combined with his class mod for the Apophis Lance to guarantee crits on every shot. So if y'all are ready, let's go! I want to start by giving a huge shout out to Nefi, who had the idea for this build and helped me put it together. We're using the Buster class mod for his Apophis Lance skill to get 1 point into Awe in the blue tree, which says whenever Rafa shocks an enemy, all shots fired at that enemy are critical hits for a duration. We're combining that with the Beam Team Capstone for the Peacebreaker Cannons to guarantee that we can shock enemies, with thus guaranteeing crits. For our skills, we're focusing heavily on gun damage, gun fire rate, as well as a little reload speed. So we're taking 5 out of 5 in Sitar, 5 out of 5 in Deft Hands. We also have 5 out of 5 in Rinse for more reload speed. We've got 3 out of 5 in the Thrill for more fire rate. And we've come over into Green Tree to grab 5 out of 5 in Handshake Deal for 15% more gun damage. As far as the rest of the tree is concerned, we also have 5 out of 5 in Sia. Killing an enemy restores shields based on Rafa's maximum health capacity, as well as El Valiente. Rafa deals increased damage from all sources the fuller your shields are, so we're using these to keep our shields full, dealing up to extra 30% damage. We're taking 5 out of 5 in Confetti. Rafa's Ordnances deal bonus damage in his current gun's elements. This is mostly to get further down the tree, but we're also pairing that with Instafort Battle System Augment to allow our Peacebreaker Cannons to deal Ordnance damage. It's incidental damage. I tried it with Bullet Buddy Deluxe, giving extra incendiary damage to our guns, but honestly I liked the Instafort Battle System damage output a little bit better. We're taking that so that we can take concentrated buildup. While aiming, we deal bonus shock damage. This allows us to trigger shock without having to have our action skill up, so if it's ever down, we're still able to crit. Additionally, the bonus shock damage is also nice. While for bossing in particular, this build is very good at mobbing. It's a little weaker when it comes to bossing, but it still has some really good damage output. Lastly, we're taking Inspirato. Whenever Rafa inflicts a status effect on an enemy, he gains increased action skill cooldown rate and decreased action skill duration rate. Combining that with Huerga, whenever Rafa critically hits an enemy, action skill duration is restored. This has a cooldown of 4 seconds, but with these two combined, our action skill stays up most of the fight. Now for our gear that you want to look out for. For our class mod, again, we're using the Buster class mod with 1 point in Awe. This class mod also rolls with points into Las Hadas, which would give ammo regen instead of the chance to double our action skill damage, which mine currently has. There was another iteration of this build that utilized the left side of the red tree to juice the beams and melt enemies super quickly. It was very good at mobbing, but a bit weaker when it came to bossing. So I went with the more gun damage focused build I currently have. The ideal roll would have 1 point in Awe, 5 points in Las Hadas, and would either have all damage or a crit damage roll. There are multiple options you have for a shield. The Super Soldier is always a good choice, as we're going to be able to keep our shield full most of the time. The Fireworks shield is also great for mobbing, as we are amping the damage of the missiles with El Valiente up to 30%. Lastly, the Watts for Dinner is a great option, as it'll allow us to proc shock with any weapon and enabling crits in addition to giving the damage boost. I tend to run around with the Super Soldier most of the time for that extra movement speed. The fire rate's also nice. Switching to the Watts for Dinner for the bonus 25% shock damage when you pick up the overshields is great. For a Repkit, for mobbing, I use the Kill Spring for the extra healing it provides. Another great option is the War Paint, which I will usually swap to for bossing to provide the extra fire rate for more damage output. For Ordnance, you can use any Ordnance you like. Since we are increasing the damage of Ordnance from El Valiente and Confetti, I've been using the Blockbuster for general damage output, but you can use the Firepot, Swarm, or Waterfall, or whatever epic grenade you enjoy. Keep an eye out for the Shock Lingering Payload Augment, as it's another way to trigger shock damage when your action skill is on cooldown. For our enhancement, I'm using a Vladoff enhancement with Bullet Hose for the extra projectile. Ideally, you want to look for the legendary enhancement to get Bullet Hose and Box Magazine for the extra fire rate and mag size. You want to look for gun damage and crit damage rolls. This one rolled with those for assault rifles, which is okay since the majority of the time that's what I'm using. As far as weapons are concerned, the two main weapons I use are the Lucian's Flank and the Wombo Combo. The Lucian's Flank, giving us ammo back when we crit, means we don't have to reload as often. And the Wombo Combo is fantastic for vile enemies, as it quickly tears through the shards and kills them. It's also great for bossing. I've also really enjoyed using the Bod shotgun, as it gets the bonuses from my enhancement, and it does a good amount of damage in its own right. Being able to stack shots quickly is important, as we will see when we get to Specializations. Other weapons you can use are the Chaosin, or any purple Vladov SMG. They're all fantastic. Keeping that special eye out for anything that has the underbarrel taser, as that's going to give you another way to shock enemies and guarantee crits. The Convergence and Sweet Embrace shotguns both perform very well. A surprising inclusion for me was the Complex Root. If you can roll a Jacob's part, it can clear mobs effectively. I've also been using the Katagawa's Revenge, which isn't necessarily the strongest option, but with the Jacob's part, it wreaks havoc. And lastly, the Hot Slugger. While it doesn't synergize fully, we are spec'd into enough gun damage that it can one-shot almost any regular mob in the game, so I always carry one with me just in case. For Specializations, we're using the best defense for up to 30% more damage when our shields are full, which they will be the majority of the time. Riddle you this, which we can stack up very quickly with the increases to the rate of fire we have in the assault rifles or the Bod shotgun for another 50% increase in gun damage. Contamination is very important. After 10 crits, we guarantee we have a 100% status effect application chance, so we don't need to spec into any in our skill tree. This guarantees that we can crit with every single shot, every single time. And currently I'm using Bullets Are Scared of Me for more damage reduction, but as soon as I have the points, I'll be using Bullet Train instead to take advantage of all the movement speed we are spec'd into, as well as the Warpaint Repkit. Lastly, for firmware, we're using the full Deadeye set for more crit damage, as well as the stacking crit damage, as we're going to be able to build that to max stacks almost immediately. We're using one Heating Up for more reload speed. Again, just increasing our damage output of our guns, making sure we're always putting bullets down range. As well as one Get Out of Jail Free card for action skill cooldown rate. This just helps shorten the time up if our action skill does go down till we get it back, since we are not spec'd into now with caffeine to be able to get our action skill back with using a Repkit. Now to show you all how this build looks. We activate our action skill. I'm going to tag this enemy. He's going to start getting shocked. Now you're going to see that every shot I fire is a critical hit. And as you can see, as we keep shooting and getting crits, our action skill keeps restoring. This should be able to stay up for most every mobbing fight, as well as bossing fights. And that's going to do it for the Infini-Crit Rafa build. I hope you all enjoyed it. It'd mean a lot if you can give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if I earned it. I'm streaming Borderlands 4 live every day on Twitch at twitch.tv/legendaryherottv, as well as here on YouTube, so drop by and let me know what you think. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you next time, Legends.